Hey everyone, I wanted to show you my assistant setup, so just a quick short guide or rather a video on how I do it. So for the limited deals, I have auto purchase on the weekly decrease, but this is not worth it if you're not swimming in the diamonds or not worth it in the general in most cases, so don't do this. Only use the summons if you're a free-to-play player. Only purchase the summons for the free gifts. When it comes to the mystery shop, the only deals that are actually worth buying are the deals for the coins, because the coins you will eventually start running out of things to do with them, so you will be delaying your gears a bit, which doesn't really matter because the gear only is important in non-seasonal, but the invokers, summons and other scrolls will be very useful for you to gain resources slightly faster than usual. Another thing that's worth it is the Oracle decrease, whether you're in the early or mid game. I do think these are worth it because it ends up costing 63,200 diamonds for one DD hero of your choice, or rather from the Oracle store, and one DD hero from the random PT. So total of 2 DD heroes in the cost of 63,000 diamonds. Next up we have the daily setting, which is for guild donation. If you're in the early game and if you're in a guild that is actually going to be lasting long term and you're sure of it, I would suggest donating 100 diamonds so your guild can level up to level 12 faster and thus gain more members, which means more easier time snowballing in the rewards and in the competition. Otherwise, if you're unsure, you can do the 30 diamonds or the gold, it really doesn't matter. Obviously, you will earn these two resources the most if you donate the diamonds, but in the long run you will eventually reach the cap, so it doesn't matter that much. Only matters if you're in a guild, as I said, that will be lasting long term and you're sure of it. When it comes to gold purchase, never do this. Gold comes naturally. I know it's low, but it's really just a free resource that you will eventually have tons of and know where to use it. Don't ever purchase the gold, especially not if you're free to play player. Everything else is pretty much auto setup and auto done. In the game modes you have missions and idle speed up. I suggest doing idle speed up at least once and maybe even 2 times, because it will pay out in the terms of bounties that you get and in the resources you are getting. At least once is what I suggest to everyone. Even if you're level 100, the additional gears for arena and the other stuff you get is actually really nice. Then when it comes to battle arena, it's really up to you if you want to do it automatically or if you want to do it manually. I have it on auto and I have purchased for 5 tries every day. I do suggest this. I do think it's really worth it in the long run because of the Oracle decrease you get from the weekly ranking and from the weekly shop, which can be total 3 Oracle decrease per week. The auto battle in arena will automatically choose opponents with lower power and higher points. If unavailable, choose opponents with the lowest power. The setting already does what you do anyway, pretty much, unless you're there for testing the team comp. Labyrinth I do have on auto battle. It's on the obviously nightmare mode, which is the hardest and gets the furthest resources. As for the Lost Merchant, I do suggest picking up the invokers at 70%. 60% is pretty debatable and iffy, but if you're feeling like slightly upping your increases in the invoker summons, feel free to do it. But 70% off, I do suggest all the times to be turned on for the auto purchase. Then we'd have the Vileflower auto feed, which I do have at lowest feed quality legendary, but this doesn't mean it will always select legendary, but it will try to get to legendary first, and if not, it will select the epic Vileflower. I do have the automatically change the food for 20 diamonds, so it has easier time getting to the legendary Vileflower, but I do not suggest using this. It is too expensive in my opinion, so stay away from this, just my opinion about it. And as for the auto Vileflower assistance, I do not purchase additional tries. I never did. I feel like it's useless personally. Maybe in the early game it could be okay because you're speedrunning the levels to get more Terra Crystals, which are often the bottlenecks for the beginners. But as for the lowest Vileflower quality, for the assistance, I did also select legendary and auto send claim friendship points. Why bother with that? It's automatically done. Why should you do irrelevant clicks when you don't have to? In the Forgotten Lands, I do suggest purchasing at least once. You can purchase 2 times if you reach VIP 10 and above, but it's plenty expensive in my opinion. Not really worth the resources. 100 diamonds for 3 of the DD evolution ores are not really worth it in the long run, but using the 50 for the fodder for the resources is absolutely worth it. It starts being worth at around level 80, I think, don't hold my word for it, at around level 80 to 100 is like when you can start doing these additional purchases for diamonds for at least one time for everything. So you will eventually have plenty of fodder. This is like additional 50 fodder shards per day, which is actually really important because you will struggle with fodder for about 2 years if you're a free-to-play player. And then for the celestial trials, a lot of players don't like this, me myself, because it will always sweep the one you select, which often you can forget to change it before each reset daily. So a lot of players just don't use this, and I probably shouldn't either. You should sweep on the thing that you need. This only starts to matter at around floor level 71 when you start earning the DD ores for purifying, and even on 61 level or 63, either of the two. So up until then, just try to sweep each time the different one, so you can have balanced resources around the purify material. And that's really about it for the assistant. So this is what I think the most optimal setup for free-to-play players. And if you're a whale, you can obviously do things like this, which is not really worth it, but you can do it if you're feeling a bit rushy. And yeah, that's really about it. I usually just do this because I really do like invoker crystals and I'm not really suffering with the diamonds. So yeah, apart from that, that's really about it. This is the most free-to-play setup I could have made. And yeah, see you in the next one.